All right, Tim Blankenship here, Divorce 661 with the Divorce 661 Daily Perspective, episode 31 for this Tuesday, November 21st, 2023. Today, we're coming at you live, have a lot of updates for you. I ran out of time, didn't get this video out early enough to be able to upload it, so we're just going to do it live and shotgun this thing. The nice thing about doing it live is I can answer questions at the end of the video. Big news, my channel just got monetized. What does that mean to you? Monetize, when YouTube monetizes your channel, means you can do all kinds of neat new stuff on both your current videos and live videos. And specifically what I'm thinking about doing is turning my business as well. I have a full service business here as well, but turning this into a self-help center, if you will, for California. I know it's difficult getting a hold of the self-help centers across California. People are waiting for months for classes. And I thought I could jump on here a couple times a week and answer those questions with the thought process with my YouTube channel now being monetized. There's these things called super chats, super thanks, and super something else. I forget, but basically you're able to make a donation, if you will, to perhaps get some assistance from me on the fly as we're doing this. So just a thought process, maybe jump on and do these live shows as a self-help type scenario. And if you want direct questions for your own divorce answered, you can do a super thanks or a super chat. We'll come up with some fees for that, and we'll see how that works. Just a thought, and I just thought I'd share that with you. One more announcement, 8 days still left to file for LA County. If you want to file this week, probably the last week, maybe next Monday we can squeeze you in, but we can still file and have your divorce case finalized before the end of the year. We can do that because in LA County, everything's e-filed and we get next day approvals on the judgments, and we can turn them in as soon as 5 weeks after we filed, which puts us right around the 22nd, 23rd of December right now. So we're really kind of close, but I've been preaching this for those of you that want to get your divorce done this year in LA County only, by the way, that if you want to get that done, we can certainly take care of that. And a lot of people are taking advantage of that. I think this has been the busiest week leading up to Thanksgiving I've had in 11 years, just because I've been talking about so much about how we can get these done before the end of the year. Keep in mind, of course, it's still the 6-month supply. So even though you'll be fully divorced, all your terms and agreements signed off by the judge, you still have to wait for the 6 months to pass, which will put you sometime, I think, in May, late May, maybe June. I'd have to count out the 6 months in a day. So that was the announcements today. Let me know what you think about going live as opposed to doing the podcast. I need to make one quick update here. I forgot to do that. Bear with me. And I'll get right into this. I change this to make sure we're on the right podcast here. There we go. Okay. So now, as far as what happened today, like I said, it's been extremely busy. I thought I'd get a little break this week. You guys would go on vacation. You'd be on your flights or on your drive, but apparently not. We did. How many new cases do we have? We had 4 consults today. Am I on the right day? Yeah. 4 consultations today. What else do we have? 3 new cases. So we had three new cases, 2 for LA County that want to take advantage of getting their divorce finalized before the end of the year. We have for clients living in one in Van Nuys, and other clients were living in Burbank. We also filed a new Orange County divorce case for clients living in Newport Beach. LA County, we got those back same day from the court. Orange County, they will file stamp it the same day, but we won't get it for 3 or 4 court days. With this case we filed today with Orange, with Thursday being a holiday, I don't think we'll get this back from court until Friday. One of the downsides with all the other courts, at least they allow for the e-file of the petition. So 4 consultations, 3 new divorce cases, had 3 approvals today as well. And 4 judgments were e-filed. So a lot of judgments were turned into the court today for review and approval. With LA County, you'll probably have many of those back maybe tomorrow, but maybe Friday. There might be some vacations. Keep in mind the clerks take vacations during the holidays as well, so that can add to the time. All right, I want to talk about a couple different topics that came up with the work I did today with clients. And again, I do this to help you out. If you're going through divorce, maybe doing your own divorce and you have similar issues, it'll help you out. I want to talk to you about how people expect to work with me. I had one big team. So I want to tell you a little bit about my past, if you will, just briefly. I've been doing this going on 12 years, and I went from doing it by myself to having a large team, 5 employees, 4 offices. And then now, with COVID and with that, it's gone back to just me for the most part, except for, having folks answer my phones and so forth. And the way I've been able to handle the volume is that through technology and systems, I've sadly been able to replace many of my employees. The nice thing about it is I actually get a paycheck now, whereas for the first 5 or 6 years, I did not. But I think clients are happier now. People, I think they see me on the videos, then they call, and I think they now are surprised that when I call them, that's actually me. Because there was a time when other people, other staff members with my company were reaching out and calling. And but when I think it's just people are more receptive when I call. They know the voice, they see my face, and they've decided if they're going to call me or schedule a consultation, at least that they have obviously already vetted me and just have a couple questions regarding their specific case. Um, Also, if you are a mediator, no, this is number two. If you're a mediator or a therapist and you've referred business to me, I appreciate it. If you are watching this and you're a mediator or therapist, I do and I am able to take on your amicable clients if it turns out that mediation or therapy doesn't work and they decide they want to file for divorce. I would be happy to assist them. I do get referrals from mediators and therapists that would send me their clients who, after going through therapy, let's say they decided that it's not going to work and they want to file for divorce. And if they're amicable enough to go to therapy, I imagine they're amicable enough to go through a divorce with me, and I can work with both of them and get them through the process anywhere in California. So I'd welcome any of those referrals. I would appreciate it. Number three, we had clients where they had children children that were born before the marriage. It happens. In the alternative, we see people that get married simply because they are pregnant. I can tell when I see the date of birth of the child being 2 months after the date of marriage. I know that they got married specifically for the purpose because they are pregnant. I don't know if that is a good reason to get married, but I see a lot of those. We do a lot of divorce cases where I can see the marriage date just before the birth of the child. But what I want to talk about in this is that if you do have a child born before marriage, you just have to file the paperwork a little bit differently when it comes to the petition as well as the judgment. Uh, you'll notice on the petition, it'll ask if there's children born before the marriage, and they want you to attach the declaration of paternity. And I can tell you in my experience after doing this 11 years that most people do not have that. What it is it's a document you get in the hospital that shows that who the parents are. It's not the birth certificate. It's a paternity form that you would sign in the hospital. It's a yellow. I think your copy is yellow. And most people don't have that, but you do need a declaration of paternity to finalize your divorce case if you have children born before the marriage because the court requires it. And if you don't have that, that's fine. What I do is I've drafted up a stipulation that I have you sign that basically mirrors what that hospital declaration of paternity form is, and have you sign that, and the courts will accept that. But it is required that you have some type of stipulation or declaration of paternity if you have children born before the marriage. And for those of you just joining us live, this is the first we're doing live of our daily perspective podcast. I was running out of time today, so I had to do this live, and I think I might do them live in the future. I was talking about maybe doing this as a regular thing and then answering questions. So if you do have questions, I'll try and monitor. Let me know if you have questions. I will see what comes up in the comments here and try and answer those once we are done. Number 4. So today I handled a 2020 default case. So this is a default no agreement. I hate those. But we took this on because once I reviewed their initial paperwork that they filed, I realized that there is a way to get it through because there are certain criteria that were met. So this was a case again that was filed in 2020, and it was one of the most messed up cases in that I've ever seen. I shouldn't say ever. I've seen some really bad ones. But what happened was they had filed their petition and made the original petition and made mistakes. Then they amended their petition and made different mistakes. And you only get one free amendment. So the way this works is they filed for divorce. they made errors. Court made them change it or file an amendment. They've amended it. You get one amendment. I don't say for free, but you get one amendment without having to get court approval. They messed that one up. And then they filed, and then they went to court. They did this all on their own before hiring me. Again, this is a 3-year-old case. Then they went to court, got approval for a second amended. So this is their number 3 of amended, and they messed it up again. So when I took them on, I said, hey, we're gonna have to either set this for another motion for request for a third amended, which is crazy. The courts go nuts when you're doing this. They're gonna pull you into court. But the error on the second amended was minor enough. It was causing a reject. I did try to submit it as is to see if I could sneak it through, and the courts caught it. The issue was related to their property declarations that were listed. They didn't list who the assets and debts were going to. They did list them, but they didn't say if it was petitioner's community property or respondent's community property. So they rejected the judgment because it wasn't clear. So I said, in this case, what we're going to try and do is request a prove-up hearing. And what that is it's an opportunity to go to, because if we just turn the judgment in, they're just going to reject it time and time again. So I said, let me get you into court. It's called a prove-up hearing. It's only done on, well, I shouldn't say it's only done on, but mostly on default without agreement type cases. And it's so you can get into court and explain to the judge why the judgment should be approved. So we filed that with the court. We got, they set a court date. They just attended it late last week, I think Friday of last week, and got some testimony and basically cleared the air on who the asset should be assigned to. And today I received the approval via e-file from the court. And this is with LA County. So we were able to get that 3-year-old case finalized. Number 5, today I took on another default without agreement type case. I've been getting a lot of them, even though I talk about the fact that I don't like taking them on. If you have no agreement and you're going through divorce and you're getting stuck, let me know. I will review your paperwork. There's certain instances where we can get your divorce finalized simply when there's no agreement or your spouse is not participating or cooperating, but it depends on a lot of factors. The factors are things like, were you married less than 10 years? Are there children, and how did you file the petition? Did you already amend your petition, and can we clean that up? Is there a ton of community property that we are going to be forced to divide equally? So we have to go through these specific challenges when it's a default without an agreement. And a new client today hired me again. Of the 4 or of the 3 new cases today, one was a default, which he said there's not going to be an agreement. So once I review his documents, I'll let him know if it's something I think we can get through the court. If you just join us, feel free to answer any questions you might have in the chat, and I'll take a look when we're done going over the information I have for you today. Number 5, or that was 5. Number 6, I want to talk about completing the FL 105 when you're going to file for divorce. When you have children living with you 50-50. So we're talking about spouses who have already separated, have minor children, they're living in separate households, and the children, they already have kind of a between themselves a custody schedule, and they're doing 50-50, whatever that looks like. When I go to file, this was a new case, one of the new cases I filed today. I said, where are the children currently living with and with whom? And they said 50% with me at this address and 50% with my spouse at that address. So when you're going to complete the FL 105, you can split the timeshare. You don't have to, it's not critical that you do it. I like it to be accurate. So it shows who, just for my client's sake, they can see that on this FL 105 UCCJA, it says 50% at, dad's house, 50% at mom's house. But if you didn't do that, it's not an issue. It's not your proposed custody order. It's just the FL 105. They want to know for jurisdictional purposes where the kids have lived the last 5 years. So if you did not, put that 50% each house, it doesn't matter. The reason I do it is I know if I don't split the time on the where the address is for the most recent addresses being 50-50, I know the clients are going to say, oh, but it shows that they're living with mom versus dad, and that's not the case. So I would just split it. It doesn't make a difference, but I think it makes my clients happy that they see it on there. It has no bearing on what your agreement related to custody actually is. Number 7, talk about withholding orders. There's 2 types of withholding orders, and this came up today, both child support withholding orders and spousal support withholding orders. So number 1, I want to state that when we finalize your settlement agreement, your divorce and so forth, and you say there's an order for child support and spouse support, On the FL 342 spouse support order, or child support order rather, it says that a income withholding order will automatically be ordered by the court. And despite that, 99% of the courts do not require that. 99% of the courts do not, or my clients do not want that. They don't want a withholding order. So 99% of the time, we don't fill that out. This is form FL 395, I believe, the child support income withholding order. You can if you want, if you just don't want to deal with it. We've had clients say, I don't want to write a check for child support every week or month or whatnot. I want it coming out of my pay, so we'll file the income withholding order. Most people do not want it. They just don't want their employers to know for whatever reason, and I get it for a privacy standpoint. So, but yeah, just know that if you're doing your own divorce, you don't need the withholding order for child support. Most courts, if it gets rejected, if your divorce gets rejected, or just the judgment gets rejected, it shouldn't. It should get approved. I've only had one time where they rejected it because they wanted the form submitted with the judgment, when technically the judgment says that you have 10 days to turn it in. I think the courts know that people aren't turning them in. So in this particular court, I forget what it was a while ago. I think they said, let's just reject the judgment and then we'll force them to turn in the 395. I think it's 195, not 395. I think I'm thinking about maybe going on vacation up to Bishop, taking the 390. Yeah, the FL 195. I apologize if you guys looking at the form. Sorry about that. Now the spouse support order, if you want to have a spouse support order, we just did a modification for clients today that are doing an increase in spousal support. And I apologize if I keep interchanging spousal and child support, but we're talking specifically about spouse support now. If you want to modify that, we do that by stipulation. I just draft a document that says we're either increasing, decreasing, terminating, whatever it is you're doing. The spouse support, in this case, we're increasing it effective January 1st, 2024. And they wanted to have a withholding order on that. And that is a different form. It's not the 195. It is a specific earnings assignment order. And I'm reading it. Earnings assignment order for spouse support. And it's a form FL 435. And it's a simple document to file. Nothing you need to sign. You just say who the payor is, where it's going to be mailed to, and so forth to get that filed, and send that to court. The judge will sign it, and then you can send it to your employer. But yeah, we had the payor wanted to have that done because they didn't want to deal with it. They just wanted to come out and go directly to their spouse. Now, I did one. So normally, and I talked about this last week, there is no court fee or no filing fee when we file these. So I'm always wondering if, we are the first to know usually if it changes in court requirements, court fees, new documents, and so forth, because we file so many cases throughout California. I don't say we're the first to know, but we know very fast or quickly what changes there are. So in I want to say it was Alameda County, we filed one of these last week, and they they wanted to charge a $60 fee because the judge is signing it. And that's never happened before in 11 years. We've never had a court request a fee to sign this order. Although if you look at their fee schedules, they do charge for orders like joinder or like quadros, there's a fee, and most orders there are. And we're starting to see the courts request fees on everything the judge has to sign. Withholding order for spouse support. We also had a name change, a name restoration request, which we filed for years for the respondent, even though they didn't respond. And it was a default with written agreement case. And the court's now asking for the full $435 court filing fee. So I don't know if they're getting, they're trying to just get as many fees as they can, or there's a change in policy, or they just said, hey, we're going to start charging we're going to keep an eye on these things. And that could go for as far as that court fee. The reason that they're normally the filing fee for an order is $20. That would be for a stipulation for maybe this earnings assignment order. This will be an LA County earnings assignment order. We don't file a lot of them. The last few over the last couple of years, there's not been a fee. So we'll see if there's a fee for this. I told the clients there might be a fee because we saw a fee in another county. So it might be a California-wide thing. I doubt it. But the issue with the name change post-divorce is that they looked up to see that the respondent did not file a response and said, well, this is the first document technically that the respondent's filing. So we're going to charge the full $435 court fee, which is terrible. So if you are thinking of changing your maiden, going back to your maiden name or restoring your maiden name or your former name rather, then you're definitely going to want to add that in the divorce, because if you don't and you did not pay a filing fee, like you're the respondent that did not respond, you are going to be asked to pay the full $435 fee. So definitely make sure that you guys get those in. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's daily perspective, day in the life of an LDA. This is episode 31 for November 21st, 2023. This Tuesday, we have Thanksgiving coming up in 2 days. I hope you guys have a great one. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out.